As the clock ticks toward training camp, something's brewing behind the scenes that might ruffle feathers or send some eyebrows shooting skyward. The name? Robbie Chosen. Yeah, that guy. He's been popping up again in the rumor mill. Not because he set the league on fire, but because he's got nothing else left to do and apparently has been in contact with Miami. He's back in shape. He's ready. He's chomping at the bit. But let's ask ourselves, what would it mean if the Dolphins actually called him back? Let's be real. As of today, Miami doesn't need another wideout. They've got Tyreek Hill. They've got Jalen Waddle. They've added Nick Westbrook-Ikine. There's Malik Washington showing flashes. Then you've got the depth guys scrapping for a practice squad gig, Finn. Maybe Yaboa, even Azukama, though his clock's ticking louder than that stadium scoreboard. So why even give Chosen a glance? Think about it this way. Signing Chosen is like calling up your old buddy to fill in for someone who fell asleep behind the wheel. He's not the first guy you'd reach for. He's just a guy with a pulse who answered his phone. It's a backup plan so bare bones you can practically see the ribs. So if Robbie gets a camp invite, does that mean Miami's WR room is walking on shaky ice? You bet your cleats it would. But hold on. Let's walk through what Chosen brings to the table. In 2 seasons with Miami, he snagged 5 catches. 5. That's not exactly lighting sunsets on fire. But he's reportedly stayed fit, kept his stamina up, and reached out. That kind of initiative might appeal to a coach looking for someone who buys in. It doesn't hurt that he knows the offense, knows the playbook, no preseason rookie jitters, no fumbling through terminology. He can walk straight in and run. Still, we should ask, is that more comforting than concerning? Because if you're digging back into the scrap heap for WR6 or WR7, aren't you admitting something's already wrong? The Dolphins have been selective. They didn't chase free agents, didn't burn draft capital. They trusted their core, and now they're trusting it again. So if Robbie becomes an option, all eyes turn to Malik, Nick, those young guns. How many snaps can they actually treat as audition hours? And here's a twist. What if Chosen staying sharp leads to something else? Maybe another team with receiver injuries starts calling. Miami might lose a guy like Azukama or that another practice squad hopeful. Depth gets pinched league-wide, and suddenly Robbie might get a slot somewhere else. But that, too, raises a flag. Miami could just opt to see what he's got. Even if they don't ink him, seeing him go from living room athlete to field ready could get them reevaluating how thin things are at receiver. Let's go deeper. Tyreek's elite, but he can't do everything. Jalen's electric, but fragile. Westbrook-Ikine is pedigreed, but hasn't consistently shined. Malik's carving out a role, but is he ready to step up? If injuries hit, could Miami survive with who they've got? Or would calling Chosen mean they'd already been forced to panic? Asking those questions isn't the same as failing. It's just being sensible. But you also have to wonder, who's really driving this? Is it coaching staff wanting a low-risk, high-familiarity placeholder? Agent pushing? Phone calls pinging from both sides hoping for a deal? There's another layer here. Chemistry. That locker room. That locker bay. Culture matters. Robbie walked those halls. He's got relationships. He's easy to slot in. But logic says he's behind in physical separation tactics, route precision, trust under game speed constraints. He's proven nothing. So what are the scouts hearing? What are practice reps telling them? Could even 3 weeks of padded camp snaps and 1 scrimmage look difference-making? Or would he collapse back into a shadow, overshadowed by aimless crosses, drop jukes, blank looks when the ball's in his mitts? So yeah, if Robbie Chosen's name circles back into Miami's gossip, don't choke on it. It's not headline-making, playoff tilting, all-pro stuff. It's a lifeline for a guy who wants another shot, and maybe a measuring stick for the Dolphins. That measuring stick might reveal how deep their prosperity goes. How many, what if, they can swallow. Add Robbie, and you've got insurance. Subtract him, and maybe that roster's already stretched thin. Let's pivot. What if Miami passes? That's another vibe entirely. Choosing not to pull the trigger says they believe in their current unit. They believe Nick can push, Malik can clamp, Waddle stays intact, Hill stays hot. They trust Erasmus and company to make tough calls. That's bold. That's a vote of confidence in the system, in the untried, in the potential waiting in the wings. Either way, Training camp just spilled its first shot across the bow. Robbie Chosen, background actor or main event surprise. It'll be louder in August when pads crash, drills sharpen, coaches squint from the sideline. And if Chosen gets a headset, well, let's see how rapidly the rumors start pointing at decimated depth.